This is Business and Economy Network.
Hello viewers, glad to know you are watching your program. Those of you watching us all around the world, those of you within Nigeria, I want to say thank you so very much. You are watching Business and Economy Network. My name is Peter Nwoche, and with me today,
Ohioze Edna.
And today we are looking at the stories of companies doing very well in the agriculture sector in Nigeria. And for the program rundown today, we have the CEO on Spotlight of AgroNet Limited.
On Company in Focus, we have the MD-CEO, Transgreen Farms Limited, and on Special Report, we have the MD-CEO, Nova Technologies.
All these are indigenous companies doing very well in the agricultural sector of the Nigerian economy. It's going to be an interesting watch. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial.
To get insights, views, and critics on key players in various sectors of the Nigerian economy, watch Business and Economy Network.
Unless much attention is given to agriculture, Nigeria will remain a net importer of the agricultural product, whereas the nation has all the natural resources it takes to make agriculture the mainstay of our economy. No wonder the founder of AgroNet Limited seized the opportunity to venture into the agricultural sector, with focus in the area of poultry, agro-processing, vegetables, etc. The firm, which was incorporated in 2001, has over the years grown to become a major representative of some international companies and still aiming at becoming the #1 reference point in tomatoes production in Nigeria. More so, the greenhouse technology has really helped a quite number of vegetable farmers like AgroNet Limited.
AgroNet Limited was incorporated in February of 2001. That's some 14 and a half years ago. And it started because we saw the opportunities in agriculture. We saw the fact that unless as a country we drive more people, encourage more people to go into agriculture, we will continue to be a net importer of food. But we have the resources to actually become a net exporter. So my partner and I, Mr. Funmilayo, that you already met, decided to start this agri venture. We started from poultry. We had a poultry farm. We've done agro-processing, palm kernel crushing. We've done turkey breeding. We eventually found our way to producing vegetables, fruits and vegetables, tomatoes, cucumbers, okra, ugu, peppers. And we also, because we know the challenges that exist in the sector, at this point we are also representatives to a number of international companies. You've met Russell IPM already. Russell IPM, they are an integrated pest management company out of the UK. We represent them locally. There's also PM Growth International. Dr. Ken Gaddafi is here representing them. They are bringing in Agrosol, which is a foliar feed for plants. We have some others. We bring in some other inputs from across the world. We have greenhouses coming in from Malaysia. We have cocoa peat from Ghana. We have seeds from the Netherlands, all over. That is where we are now. Where we're going is we have a number of greenhouse locations now. But where we're going is to increase our capacity about 10,000 fold. 10,000% of what we have now is where we're going. So we're growing towards it gradually. We want to get to a point where we're the reference point in tomato production in this country, where they will go to guys for seeds, for all inputs, for pest management, for consulting, for business management. We're the ones that you need. That is where AgroNet is going. We're already on the way there. We're going to become much larger. And at the end of the day, right now you find our products in ShopRite, you find in Foodco supermarkets in Ibadan, some other locations. So we intend to be able to grow that so that our produce will go all over the country, and then ultimately we export across West Africa and maybe to Europe.
Faced with unpredictable weather conditions which affect many plants in an open field farm, many Nigerians are turning to greenhouse farming technology to increase food production. Greenhouses is fast gaining popularity among farmers because it enables them grow exotic vegetables, flowers, and fruit throughout the year and help to improve the depleting water table. This means that farmers can grow crops any time of the year and make the most use of land. The technology gives plants exactly what they need: the perfect climate, the right amount of light, exact amount of water, nutrition, carbon dioxide, etc. The CEO of Agronet, who left the banking industry to the agricultural sector due to the burning desire of the sector, however, gets motivated and fulfilled, seeing that he's affecting the lives of untold numbers of Nigerians, employees and consumers alike.
What you find is that the crops that will grow under greenhouse conditions, generally in the open field, are very susceptible to pest and disease attack. So what the greenhouse does for you is provide a controlled environment where you're able to control the sunlight, you're able to control the water that gets to the plants, you're able to control and specify the volume of nutrients that gets to the plants, and you're also able to restrict the access of pests and diseases into the place. That is the essence of the greenhouses. Now, under greenhouse conditions, you're able to also intensify production from and output from your plants. That's essentially why everybody is looking towards greenhouse technology. We can't grow so much on the open field. Yes, it's a wider expanse of land, but because usually it's for a defined period, you have your seasons and it's off. But in greenhouses, you can keep growing around the year, and so per square meter, you get more in terms of volume than you get in the open field. For tomatoes as well, greenhouse tomatoes are more nutritious, they taste better, they have a better shelf life, and they sell much higher. I have looked at both sectors. My going into the finance sector was largely for want of greener pastures. Agric is very challenging, we knew that. So in our earlier years, I grew up on the farm literally. My dad is an agriculturist, he's a practicing agriculturist, he's a doctorate holder in Agric and soil and water engineering. He's been MD of Meriva Basin. So we have all literally been playing in Agric from my junior brother, one of them is also in agriculture. So we are essentially an agrarian family. Now, so we grew up understanding agriculture and practicing agriculture. That drove me really to study agriculture. Now, at the end of the day, after I graduated, there were no jobs. There was no money to set up a farm. So I decided to go into banking to work for a few years, give me some leverage to be able to come back. When I was going in, I made up my mind it was going to be for a period of time, and I was going to return to agriculture, which is my passion, which is what gives me job satisfaction, which is what makes me happy, and I know that we can drive and build. That was essentially it for me. I've looked at both sectors, and the truth of the matter is there is no satisfaction for me in finance. You do the same thing day in, day out. You go to the office, you sit down, you type memos, you visit customers and all that. But on the farm, you interact, you can look at plants, you can see something new every day, new diseases, new challenges, new opportunities. And the fact that you're actually feeding people. One other problem I have with the finance industry is that Nigerian banks really don't support businesses. So for me, that is a problem. I saw that on the inside and I felt, look, what am I doing here? If we cannot help businesses to grow, why am I here? Let me go back to my first love and build it up myself. As of today, we don't owe any bank because they keep coming up with the same challenges, collateral, short tenors and all that. It won't work for agriculture. So we left them and we've been building our business ourselves over the time. So those are the challenges, those are the comparisons for both. I prefer agriculture. I encourage the youth to go into agriculture. I encourage my younger ones to practice agriculture. So aside from my own farm, my young brother, my kid brother has an oil palm farm, plantation. He's growing oil palm as well. My mom has a poultry that she's running. So like I said, we're playing in agriculture.
With the much talk about oil and gas as the major revenue earner in Nigeria, agriculture still constitutes a very significant sector of the economy. Almost about 70% of the Nigerian populace depend on agriculture for livelihood, as it has the capacity to increase the economy's GDP and as such generate employment opportunity for the teeming youth.
For me, we are just making so much noise about oil. That's the truth. As of today, before now and up to today, even when the oil boom was on, now oil prices have dropped, so everybody is making noise and we are having issues as a country. But before now, we knew that agriculture was the largest employer of labor, contributed the largest percentage to GDP, even with the oil sector there. So it hasn't really changed. Agric has been at the fore. We just didn't pay it enough attention. If we will turn things around and begin to focus on agriculture from the top, federal to state to local government and then to wards, and everybody is driving agriculture, we will see a difference. That's one reason I'm particularly happy with the government in Osun State. I do some work with them in Osun State. The truth of the matter is that is one government that believes in agriculture. That is doing everything that he can. Mr. Governor is doing everything he can to drive the farms and to drive output. He's providing subsidies to the farmers and giving them subsidized inputs so that they can grow. He's providing land. He's doing everything possible, developing policies that will grow the sector. If other states will emulate that state and do the same thing, we will see as our farmers increase their output, their livelihoods will increase, their lifestyles will get better, the younger generation will go back to the farms because they see it as a viable business opportunity, then everything will begin to turn. How many people can an oil company employ? There's just so many that they can employ. And today that oil prices have sunken so low, they don't even want to recruit, they're laying off staff. So how about the farms? No farms will lay off staff, because the more you can cultivate, the more your output, the more your revenues, and the more you can keep growing. So long as government is also willing to provide support in terms of access to land. We have challenges with that. People want to farm and they have to pay so much. I feel that if I come to a state government and I say, I want to invest in agriculture in your state, they should willingly give me land. The land is there, lying fallow, not doing anything. I'm saying I'm bringing money. I will pay tax on the money I generate. I will employ people. I will boost the economy of the state. Why do I need to pay for that land again? And you go so much bureaucracy and red tape in before you can access land. Some people get turned off and they leave eventually. So we all need to collectively focus on driving agriculture, and then Nigeria will take its place as the giant of Africa, feeding not just our nation, but other countries in Africa and beyond.
Information is very good, he said, but right information is very vital, especially to your business. Why not join us on Business and Economy Network, where you learn more about business information.
For Transgreen Farm Limited, the sky is the limit. At the present time, production of tomato may not actually be what the founder and CEO wants it to be, but there are positive signs that shows the aims and objective of Transgreen Farm can be met. Therefore, more effort must be put forth to satisfy the needs of customers and consumers, which this need is the proper packaging that Transgreen Farm offer at the present time.
It has been a success story, but mind you, it's lots of learning curves. We are not yet producing as many tons of tomatoes, okay, but the possibilities are there. We have seen the areas where we could have done better, okay. In fact, we are starting a new cycle, okay. We are ending the fourth cycle, which took us about 6 months. So we are starting a new cycle, and then we believe that it will give us the at least a good yield, okay. But the market is there. We can't even scratch the market. People who want to have the tomatoes, the fast food chains, the supermarkets, and so on and so forth. We just attended the eatery conference. What is it called again? AFCON, the Association of Fast Food Confectionaries of Nigeria, and they were wowed when they saw our product, and every one of them wanted to have our card, that they want to be able to. They don't want to go to my 12 to buy their vegetables, tomatoes and pepper, because of hygiene, okay, the way they are kept, the way they are transported in baskets with many tomatoes spoiled and damaged. They want something that is clean, that like our tomatoes. The number of, from the plant itself, which we're going to show you, okay, the harvesting is even done with gloves. You don't even touch it. Okay, so you use gloves to harvest the tomatoes, and then you package the tomatoes in crates, okay, and it makes it come out decently and with all the checks and controls.
Now, Nigerian can boast of laying hands on the proper technology to boost growth in farming. A lot must be done to achieve this feat. Even in the area of humidity, there is still the challenge of finding the right solution to storage of food crops. There are lots of procedures and processes that must be put in place, especially from the greenhouses.
You see, technologies evolve, okay? Our young people who are into fabrication, over time, they will be able to get it right, okay? But presently, we don't just have the tools, we don't just have the materials. The nets are special nets, most especially because of our humidity. Okay, the nets should be such that It doesn't allow rain. Okay, it doesn't allow it controls the sun, the temperature, it controls the air. So there are so many complexities in designing the net, and even the profiles for the greenhouses, the wind speed, they are calculated. Okay, you must have a wind speed of over 144 per hour to withstand the wind from the south of Nigeria. Okay, so I don't think we are yet there in local fabrication. Okay, and the greenhouses, they are agricultural tools. They are like tractors. What tractor does is what greenhouses do. They are implements. They are like cutlasses and hoes. It's just that the technology evolved after the tariff, the custom duty tariff that we have. Okay, needs to be updated, just like the way that our economy was recently. What did they even call it again? When they had to rebase. Our economy was recently rebased, such that some other sectors of the economy that were not that evolved recently became part of the GDP. Land is always a problem in farming, but we have land, but then the land is not in the hand of the people; it's in the hand of the government. By the Land Use Act, every land belongs to the government. Okay. So I really think so much has been said about it that we shouldn't bother for the sake of time. The land should belong to the owners of the land. Government should map out estates, okay, clusters for agric farming, like Lagos State did at somewhere in Badagry for vegetables. Okay, that they have a land, an area like an industrial park for vegetables. Okay, which is quite interesting. Okay, but then you need farm more than that. We need farm more than that.
Transgreen Farm Limited is still a baby in the agricultural sector. This means that farmers, having tasted the market and being able to see the potentiality, is eager to move forward to innovation that will prove high yield inputs, while at the same time able to fulfill support governmental policies for food sustainability in Nigeria.
Presently, no, we are just starting. Yes. Okay, we can say that we're actually doing a pilot test. Okay, each greenhouse tunnel employs at least 2 people. Okay, which by the time we expand, okay, because really what we have now is greenhouse tunnel. By the time we come in with a conventional greenhouse structures, which is what we plan to do now that we have tested the market and we have proven it to be okay. I don't think there's any other industry that can generate employment more than farming. I don't think. Yeah, like I mean, the former Minister of Agric, he did quite a lot. He did quite a lot. If the new minister coming in should follow in his footsteps, I think we'll get to where we are going faster. Okay, the former minister did a lot. Okay, the distribution of fertilizers directly to the people that needed it, the distribution of the input, high yielding inputs, okay, to the people that needed it. These are policies that government can continue with. And then, like I mentioned about bringing in greenhouse materials as farming tools, farming implements, so that it can enjoy the same duty waiver. That will also be very interesting policy for government to adopt.
The Nigerian farmer faced a lot of challenges in the past. Some of these had to do with the manual planting and post-harvest challenges, which could have been sorted out through the use of modern technology. In time past, many farmers were able to approach IITA, a local agricultural organization which offer various assistance to small-scale farmers. IITA provided some of the technologies needed to make the works of small-scale farmers easier.
Nova Technologies was a child of necessity. I was a seed grower for National Seed Service, and I was cultivating 40 hectares, that's 100 acres, of special seed, that's TZSR White for National Seed Service. And the government was paying good price, and that was in 1985. But the challenge we had on the farm was that of post-harvest. Not only did we have to plant manually, when we harvest, to shell maize, we have to go and rent maize sheller. And I thought these are machines that are so commonplace outside of Nigeria. So that led us to IITA, where we picked up some of their technologies, and which helped us. We started as farmers. Then, of course, after the SAP came and the price the federal government was paying for our seed was not good enough, we took engineering. Again, through mechanization department at IITA, we took engineering as a challenge, first to meet our need. Then later on in 1987, we registered the company, and we have been producing machines ever since. I went to School of Aeronautics, FIT in Melbourne, Florida. I read aviation technology. But I guess if you are destined to be something other than what you planned and you enjoy doing it, you don't even ask whether it's, it should have been in aviation, or should have been airport management or airline management. It really doesn't matter. I enjoy this because to see the toil and the labor and the sweat that farmers put into their crops, and at the end of the day, if they don't add value to it, generally speaking, these products are perishable. So it's my joy to provide the machines which are affordable and locally produced to enhance their income through the application of simple machines that we produce here.
Nova Technology has been providing machines for farmers in Nigeria since 1987. The company has also been in partnership with the federal government by providing machines for growth of the agricultural sector. One of such was the production of the groundnut oil and cake machines. Nova Technology have won an R&D award for providing machines that could help the agricultural sector in Nigeria function better.
I would think it's the Kuli Kuli machine. Yeah, I can see that you look like, what? Kuli Kuli machine? We were commissioned to produce Kuli Kuli machines for a state government during the Better Life for Rural Women. Of course, I'd never seen how they produce Kuli Kuli. So we went ahead and produced groundnut oil and cake machine. Of course, the cake I presume was Kuli Kuli, but when we carried the machine to the government, they said, no, this is groundnut cake, it's not Kuli Kuli. So they took us to Efun Kochi Women's Center in Bida, where they produce Kuli Kuli a lot, and we studied them for more than a week. And the end product is the machine that we presented at the 1994, the first ever Raw Materials Research and Development Council exhibition, where we won a national award. First ever Raw Materials Research and Development Council exhibition in Lagos before they moved to Abuja. And to be in the same league with Cadbury, PZ, when they were reading the citation, it was very, very heartwarming. But to know that we had to go back to the basics to learn the rudiments of Kuli Kuli production, and to have won a national award for Kuli Kuli, I think that was quite challenging and interesting and quite rewarding. We cannot just say one machine in particular, but currently the fastest moving item in our machine line is the fish smoking kiln. Again, the fish smoking kiln wasn't designed by us. It was designed by Nigerian Institute for Oceanographic and Marine Research. That's NIOMA. They're in Lagos. And again, we went for a training about 15 years ago in the production of the machine. Today, people are in fish production. And to add value to it and to extend the shelf life, you need to smoke it properly. And this machine, which we took off from NIOMA, a federal government agency, is one of our fastest selling equipment. And of course, you have to mention feed mills for poultry producers. We have them in different categories. And of course, primarily again, cassava processing machines to produce gari. And there's a machine that IITA transferred to us, which was originally designed by the International Rice Research Institute. It's called IRI. They were in the Philippines, but they're now in Thailand. This machine can do 5 jobs, 5 different operations. It can shell maize with or without the husk. It can thresh rice. It can thresh sorghum. It can thresh soya beans and cowpea, albeit with different efficiency. But basically, one machine doing 5 different operations is quite really interesting. We've been selling this, and we've even exported this machine to Cameroon, again through IITA in the past few years. Other machines that are quite challenging and which is in good demand is the palm kernel and palm oil processing line. Palm fruits has so much value chain that to be able to apply a machine to every stage in the production process, it's almost unending. You produce palm oil, then you get the nuts, you crack the nuts, you separate the shell from the nuts, then you still put the nuts inside another machine to now give you palm kernel oil and cake. Isn't that something? It's fantastic. So, and we have machines to cover all these stages in palm fruit value chain.
Well, via this right time will permit us. Always remember this. In life, never you be discouraged as you have a bunch of keys. The last key might be the one to open the door. Don't always forget that. The last key might be the one that opened the door. Edna?
Success, they say, is never an accident. It's a result of hard work, perseverance, and love for what you do.
Yes, love for what you do, and that is why we are presenting this program to you, because we love presenting this to inform you, educate you, and also to enrich you with information. And now, what's the final word to our viewers?
I want to thank you so much for being with us all this while. Let's do this again. Same time, same station next week.
God
we
bless
love you.